Hello, my name is Milan Maltier, and I'm going to be doing my presentation on Joli Singing with Kora in Senegal and Gambia. So let's get started. The origin of the Kora. So the Kora is an instrument, and it's an instrument that is very, very popular in West African countries, and it's part of the musical culture as far as people who are into playing instruments and performing. So the kora is considered a legendary folklore due to the many stories about it when it first came into experience. So basically, when people first learned of the instrument, there was a lot of different stories that were passed down for generations that talked about how significant the instrument actually was. And it is one of the instruments used in the Joli family, and there are different West African countries that they are more popular in, and they also have a different terminology to call it, not necessarily Jolie, but Jolly, which is kind of a different way to say it, but it means the same thing. And so this instrument is a central part of oral traditions. So people in different tribes in Africa, particularly West Africa, they have a lot of traditions that they do for people who are orators or people who do vocal performance, and the core instrument serves as a central purpose for those traditions. It's passed down through generations, through the family. The children grow up knowing the knowledge behind the instrument, the different stories, the different music performances, and things of that nature. And for the children that want to play this instrument or who have been put in the light of thinking that that is what they should be doing, they are taught at a young age to understand and know the instrument, so that way when they get older, people are familiar with their knowledge and stuff like that. So the word Joli Jolly, it's a group of West African musicians. They are within the Mandi tribe, and a lot of their musical ability is hereditary. It's through genetics. They're basically born with it. Um, they're considered more than musicians. They are praise singers, worshipers. They're looked at as very highly spiritually enlightened people through their music and through sound and through their art. And they are part of the important, significant moments in the communities and the village, such as ceremonial events, marriages, and things of that nature. So the core instrument with the Joli people or Jolly people, they have a significant because the instrument is part of the history and culture. So recorded music has a major impact on the Jolly and the musicians because it helped people learn more about their people and also the instrument as well. But the kora can be accompanied with a singer, or it could be accompanied with another instrument. In most African countries in the West, the men are the one who play the kora and the women are the one who sing to it. However, women can also play the kora as well. Outside of this tradition, both men and women play the instrument, but it's usually the fathers who are encouraging their daughters to play it. So when they pass it down, they pass it down to their daughters. So if there is a woman playing the kora, it's probably because her father passed down that tradition to her, because it's typically men who play it. And when the men have a daughter, they give that gift of playing to their daughters. So Jolie is also a French derivative word for storyteller, but it can also be a spiritual advisor, a keeper of the culture, someone that just honors the people, the village, the tribe. And they can also be considered a village elder who basically informs the community. They inform them with stories and things that are happening or bring awareness of different things. And they are what people would go to for spiritual guidance because they are looked at as more spiritually enlightened. And they share several stories about birth and death and marriage and just significant things that happen within the community. They are the ones that share the stories about them, and they'll either sing it or they'll chant it. And usually they use the instrument kora when they are explaining the stories or they're sharing it with someone else. So the people who play the instruments, they are members of the Joli, the Jolly. They are Jolly people. However, the art of Jolly people, they serve their purpose through instruments. So the kora is a historic instrument. So it's part of their art and their culture for Jolly people to play. And the art of Jolly serves the purpose of instrumental as musicians and vocal, as praise singers, historians, and storytellers and entertainers. The core instrument players serve a big purpose within their community and their village because they carry a tradition. The men sing and they play the instrument, and the women sing and they play the instrument as well. And it's a very complex connection between the music and the verb art form, which is the lyrics or the instruments. And it just varies between different cultures. And they usually have them present at social ceremonies, religious ceremonies, different occasions, and people invite them because they are needed for the event. Because if they're not there, it's almost as if the event has not been blessed or that the event is not going to have a spiritual guidance and things of that nature. So they usually make sure to have someone playing the kora or a member there of the Jolly people who are familiar with that type of tradition. The mastery of their words and their glorious historic past is the reason why they don't want to not have them at the event, because they are looked at as a symbolic person in their community. So they always want to include them so other people can meet them, know them, and experience their presence. So they're always sought after, they're always looked after, and people are always wanting them to be included in their events and things that they have going on for the community. Now, the Jolly or Joli members, they're usually professional musicians, and they have different tribes they're a part of in West Africa, but the Manding Society is one of the popular ones. And West Africans know them as singers because that is what they know them to do. They see that as their profession. And it is a genetic, hereditary thing. It's not something you can just decide to do. It's something that you have to be born into a family with it, or you have to already have it in you through your bloodline for people to trust and accept for you to be that type of member or that type of person. And they serve to a lot of wealthy people, political people, religious leaders, things of that nature, because they are very selected in their profession. So they get to be amongst the people that are higher up. So this is just a Jolly member I included. He has a Kora, and I just wanted to show an example of a member. This is also an example of members in the village, in the community, with them preparing for a event or a ceremonial event, something like that. This is when they gather and prepare to perform for the community, for the village. Another picture I included was the women, because a lot of men are the one who have the Joli instrument. I'm the Kora instrument and the Joli people that come together. But in this particular picture, I wanted to include women because women do play instrument, but they're usually the ones singing. So that's why I included it. So yeah, the Joli musicians, like I said, it has to be a hereditary thing. So they're usually taught by their fathers or just a man in their family if they're not able to have their father in their life. An uncle or older brother could suffice for them to teach. And they start at age 5 learning about their position and their roles. And as they grow, they learn more about the instruments and the songs and different accompaniments with the instruments and the songs that go good for the performances, for the community. And they basically have like a different style that they can learn, that they use based off of their own personal tribe and stuff. And the Joli people, they try to stick together. So when it comes to marriage and starting a family, they try to get people already in the Joli members, but they don't necessarily have to be part of the same tribe, but they try to get other members that are Joli because they want to keep it moving in the family. So if they get someone who is not part of it, then it's kind of hard to think that their children or grandchildren could inherit that trait. So they try to keep it within that same clan of Joli people, so when they do pass it down to their family, they are able to pass down that trait. So the Joli traditions, they have different traditions for their performance, for their singing, for their musical style. One of the traditions is that people pay for their life. People pay for them to perform in public performances. Musicians, entertainers, artists, they are being paid great money to be able to perform for the village, for the community. That is part of their tradition. And the music development, it rises with the traditions, staying the same. You know, they do develop over time based off of what their traditions are. And they like to experiment with the young generation, you know, with different instruments and different things as they learn more about music and they learn more about their artistic ability. So that's the end of the presentation, but I did want to provide a short visual of a Joli member playing the Kora. His name is Tata Dindin, and I just wanted to show someone actually playing the instrument. So that's all. I just wanted to show a visual of him playing the instrument, but also singing as well. And just also show that he is a male. So what I spoke about how it's typically men who play the instrument and sing and do the performance. I just wanted to show an example of that. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I hope it was insightful and informative. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.